What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, Season 6, Episode 10, Sex, Lies, and Videotapes. So let's start off with Christian and Cleo. So Cleo is meeting up with her best friend Jane, and they're meeting up at a cafe, I think it was. And so Cleo admits that she does have very strong feelings for Christian, and she reveals to her friend that her and Christian took their relationship to the next level. And so her friend Jane was like, what do you mean by that? And Cleo says, you know what I'm talking about, which means that they consummated their relationship and that they had sex for the very first time. So Cleo describes the experience that it was more like making love than just, I guess regular sex. And I guess it's because the feelings were there, the chemistry was right, and they really care for one another. And so she considered it more of a lovemaking experience than just your regular, schmegular sex. So it just makes me think that she is starting to have very strong feelings for Christian. She's falling hard for Christian, if this is how she's going to describe their very first experience. So Jane asked Cleo, so was Christian comfortable with the whole process? And I'm thinking what she was indicating was because Cleo has not yet had her full transitional surgery, was he okay with, being with her, I guess, knowing that or seeing that she is pre-op. She hasn't had her bottom surgery yet. And Cleo said that she thought that Christian would have been a little bit more awkward, but he knew his way around her body. I guess he was really comfortable with it. And it was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful experience. She had absolutely zero complaints. So back at Cleo's apartment, we see Christian fumbling around trying to make breakfast for himself. And the producers ask him, he's having a conversation with the producers directly. So they ask him, like what happened the night before, because it seemed like they just played their video reality game and then they went to bed. And Christian said that, it didn't end there. The night did not end there, that they did end up messing around. But he said that all they really did was just make out and, nothing more happened. So the producers asked him point blank, did y'all end up having sex? And he said no, they didn't even get that far. So he completely denied it. So back at the cafe with Cleo and Jane, Cleo had mentioned to Jane that when they were getting started, it was kind of awkward because neither one of them was willing to make the first move. And she tells her friend Jane that Christian told her he's not the kind of guy to make the first move on a woman. He waits for the woman to make the first move on him. And even Jane saw through that. Even Jane was like, that doesn't make any sense, because from what you told me of how he's acted online with you, he seems to be very forward, very overt in what he wants. And he doesn't seem like the kind of really shy, coy type of man that is just going to sit around and wait for the woman to make the first move. Like, he's not that at all. So, Jane was like, I just want you to be careful, because Jane can already sense the BS. She can already see some red flags in Christian, because why lie about something like that? Like, I don't make the first move, when you've indicated in all of your communications with her that you are definitely the type of person who's not afraid of making the first move. So Jane saw right through that. So later on, we see Cleo again, and she's meeting up with Jane, and you can tell that something really, horrible has happened, because Cleo is really emotional, and she tells Jane that she wants Jane to come back with her to the Airbnb that her and Christian are staying at. So in their car ride, on the car ride to the Airbnb, Cleo tells Jane that Christian had texted her and asked her, have you told anyone about what happened between us the night before? That we went all the way. And Cleo was like, yeah, I've talked about it. And so then Christian tells her, well, maybe it's a good idea to stop talking about it and just keep that between us, because he said that he was worried for, did he say he was worried for her safety? No, he said that it was better for them not to talk about it to protect Cleo. So as Cleo is telling Jane this, she tells her friend that, I think what's really going on here is that he doesn't want to deal with the backlash of people knowing that he went all the way with his transgendered girlfriend. And maybe he's worried about what his friends will think, what his family will think. And so Cleo tells Jane, I'm beyond being someone's secret. I don't want to be someone's secret lover, secret girlfriend. I'm beyond that. I'd rather be alone than be with someone who wants to keep me hidden. So this has really broken her trust in Christian, because she never thought that he would, be like this, where he wants to hide her and act like he's a little bit ashamed of what they did and what they're doing. So she says this has broken her trust in Christian, but a part of her still wants to give him a second chance. So I understand that, as the heart wants what the heart wants, but you also don't want to see your friend get hurt. But you don't also, I would not feel comfortable as Cleo's friend to tell her, no, don't do it, stay away from it. Because if she wants to be with him, or if she wants to give him a second chance, she's going to end up doing it. And I don't want my friend to feel like they can no longer come to me because I'm going to be disappointed in the decisions that they make. So, her friend, I don't know what her friend Jane is going to do, what kind of advice she's going to give Cleo, but Jane sees through Christian's nonsense. And Cleo, she's too much into it to really see what's going on, to really see the red flags, because as a transgendered woman, I don't know if she's used to, a man wanting to be with you, a man presenting himself like he's perfectly okay with you being transgendered. He doesn't have any issue with it. He wants to be with you, in front of everybody, that doesn't care who knows it. Maybe that's what's kind of keeping her hanging on to Christian, because, they are on a show. They are broadcasting their relationship to the whole wide world. And so I guess a part of her, is intrigued by that he is willing to be on a television show, proclaiming his love for her. But at the same time, I don't know what's going on with Christian, because he's very flip-floppy with this whole entire situation. Because before he arrived in Europe, he had told her that, look, when we meet up at the airport, I don't know if I'm going to be comfortable with us kissing. Well, then he arrives at the airport and he gives her the biggest kiss ever. Then he tells her, I don't make the first move on women. I wait for them to make the first move on me. But then he ends up making the moves on her, and they end up going all the way. Then he's like telling her, well, don't tell anybody about what we did because I'm trying to protect, which is a bold-faced lie. He's not trying to protect Cleo. He wants to protect himself. He got caught up in the moment. That's what it seems like to me. The night before, when they went to bed, he got caught up in the moment, and everything was feeling good and looking right and feeling right. He got caught up, and I think now he's having second thoughts. And he's regretting it because of the fact that now everybody's going to know. I don't know if they had a discussion about this the night before. Obviously they didn't, because they took completely two different paths the next day. She's telling her friend all about it on camera. He's lying to the producers about what really went down. He's texting her, telling her, don't tell anybody. So he got caught up in the moment. Now he's having regrets about it, and he doesn't want anybody to know. So to me, I'm like, girl, Cleo, you're too good for this. Move on. Keep it moving. It ain't worth it. It is not worth it, because he is acting like he's ashamed. He is acting like, he doesn't really want people to know what's really going on between them. So if I was her friend, I would be like, girl, my personal opinion is you need to leave him alone. I don't think he's the right guy for you, because the right guy for you is not going to tell you, hey, don't talk about what we did. Don't tell anybody about what we did. He's not going to want you to lie about the experiences that y'all have had. So Christian, I hate to say this, but you're kind of a jerk. You're curious. You satisfied your curiosity, and now you're like ashamed of what you did. Christian, you're a jerk. You're a jerk. You're a jerk. What you did and what you're doing to Cleo is wrong. And I hope that Cleo does end up leaving him the hell alone. Yeah, this is not a good relationship for Cleo. I mean, as a transgender woman, you go through so much, right? From what she's told us, you go through so much just dealing with things on your own, trying to accept yourself, trying to have everyone else accept you for who you are. And you don't need someone that's going to make it more difficult. You need someone that's supposed to make your life a little bit easier and a little bit better. Moving on to Statler and Dempsey. So it's the second day in the caravan. I thought it was just a little house, but it's a caravan. So Statler takes her very first cold shower. She's been avoiding it, but until she can't avoid it anymore. So she's going to take her very first cold shower. She barely survived. I can't imagine being in cold weather and then having to take a cold shower. She must really love this woman to put up with this, because I wouldn't. There's no way that I would. So she barely survives this freezing cold water, and Statler, no, it was Dempsey. Dempsey made her a smoothie after her shower. And I'm thinking, a smoothie? This girl needs like a steaming hot cup of coffee or a hot cup of tea, not no damn smoothie. So this is the day that they're supposed to go meet Statler's dad. The dad doesn't know exactly, how intense their relationship is. So he's also going to find that out, that they're actually dating one another. Dempsey said that if her dad does not like Statler, she's going to break up with Statler, because she puts a lot of weight on her father's opinion. And if her father's not feeling Statler, she's going to end a relationship. Statler is very much into Dempsey. She says that Dempsey is like her other half. And on the car ride to go meet her dad, Dempsey let it slip that she might possibly be in love. Statler let it slip that she might possibly be in love with Dempsey. So Dempsey is worried that if Statler is too full on in front of her dad, then the dad is not going to support the relationship, because he's going to think that they're moving way too fast. So they finally meet up with the dad. And it was a little bit awkward in the beginning. When Statler greeted the father, she told him, "Oh, you smell good." And the dad, I don't know if he didn't hear it or he just ignored it. I don't know what, but he didn't respond to that. So Dempsey tells her dad that they've actually been dating for 7 months and that they met on a dating app. They tell dad that this isn't Statler's first trip to England to be with a woman, that she's done this before, but it didn't work out. And I thought to myself, are they giving a little bit too much information to the dad? Because you want the dad to approve of the relationship and to like Statler, but by telling the dad that, hey, she's done this before. She's got a thing for English girls. She was with another English woman before. It didn't work out. Now she's back again for another English. I mean, I don't know. It just seemed like that, as a parent, I wouldn't be too happy to hear about that. That this person, has this fetish for English women, and, she's bouncing back and forth across the pond, meeting English women in relationships that just don't work out. I would not have been impressed by that. So I felt like they could have kept that to themselves, the part about her being here before to be with a woman. They could have said that she was here before, like just on a trip visiting a friend, but not that she was here before because she's got this thing for English women. So when Dempsey gets up to go get the food, Statler and the dad have a conversation, just the two of them. And Statler tells the dad that she plans to move in with Dempsey. And I also thought that was maybe some information that they could have kept to themselves. And I'm thinking, Statler, you should have had a conversation with Dempsey first before you told her father that you want to move in with her after 7 months of dating and after the meeting for the very first time. I don't know why Statler just dumped everything on the dad all at once like that. So the dad did say that y'all are moving pretty fast. And in the dad's confessional, he said that he was actually shocked to hear Statler say that she was ready to move in with Dempsey. It absolutely shocked him. So dad and Dempsey have a conversation in private, and the dad warns his daughter, "I think your girlfriend is moving way too fast. I want you to slow it down. I don't want you to get hurt. We don't really know what her intentions really are, so I'm going to need you to slow it down." And because Dempsey puts a lot of weight on her father's opinion, she listens, and she listens intently. And so she even says in her confessional that she wonders herself, is Statler rushing this relationship because he's just so desperate to be in a relationship, or does she really want to be with Dempsey? So they need time. She needs time to figure that out. So the next day is Valentine's Day, right? And so Statler starts off the morning by giving Dempsey a foot massage. Statler says that meeting with Dempsey's dad went really well, and you can look at Dempsey's face, and like she kind of like had her own opinion about how the meeting went. Little does Statler know that Dempsey agrees with her father that they are moving way too fast and that they may need to slow it down. Whereas on the other hand, Statler, she's ready to go full force. She plans on letting Dempsey know on Valentine's Day when she gets back from work. She wants to let her know that she does want to move in with her. She wants to stay in England with her. And Statler says on camera that she is in love with Dempsey. And I'm just like, yeah, I do believe that Statler is just rushing to be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship because she wants to belong. She wants to be accepted. She's struggling with issues of being abandoned by her biological parents because she's adopted. She's struggling with that. And so she just wants somebody to, she's like a lost puppy. She just wants somebody to find her, to love her, to take care of her. I don't think she really cares who it is. She just wants a warm body next to her and for someone to make her feel wanted and loved and accepted. So it's kind of sad on both ends because it seems like Dempsey is willing to give this relationship a try, but she just wants to kind of slow it down a little bit. And they may be the best thing that could ever happen to one another, but because Statler is rushing so fast into it, it's going to scare Dempsey away. Moving on to Tyree. So Tyree. The first time in 90-day history that someone is on 90-Day Fiance with no fiance. I don't know what this guy's doing on this show. He has no fiance. He has no girlfriend. He has no prospects of a fiance, but here we are. So he accepts that Carmela was just a picture that some guy named Christian was using to catfish him. He accepts that. He has been communicating with the real Carmela about being catfished with her picture. So he tells her, hey, some guy named Christian is using your pictures to catfish me. And so they've been keeping a communication about that. And it seemed like from the messages that they showed us that Carmela is really sympathetic with what's been happening to Tyree. So Carmela, she's willing to meet up with Tyree. She lives all the way in Denver, Colorado. And so he's willing to take that trip with his sisters to meet her. So Tyree wants to know if Carmela and Christian were working together to scam him. And then what are you going to do with that information? If you happen to find out that they were working together to scam you, what are you going to do then? Like, what is your end goal in getting that information? Most people, once they find out that they've been had, that they've been scammed, that they've been catfished, they're just like, oh, okay, sucks to be me right now. Let me just go ahead and quietly move on and act like this never happened. But not Tyree. Tyree wants to confront everybody and ask everybody a whole bunch of questions. And I'm not exactly sure to what end. Does he want to prosecute them? Does he want to call the cops on? Like, what is the end goal, Tyree? So the mom is really worried about Tyree meeting up with the real Carmela because the mom thinks that Tyree's going to fall in love with the real Carmela when he sees her because she knows that I guess her son has a weakness for a pretty face and that he's going to throw caution to the wind and he's going to start developing feelings for Carmela, the real Carmela. So Tyree says that he's also worried that he might fall in love with the real Carmela. He says he's worried that he's going to channel all of his feelings and love that he had for old Carmela to the real Carmela. Okay, for nothing else, Tyree is comic relief, okay? So Tyree and his sisters, I don't know why his sisters had to travel with him. I guess to keep an eye on him in case, he ends up falling head over heels in love with porn star Carmela and they have to drag him back to California. So Tyree and his sisters arrive in Denver. And Tyree is really hoping that Carmela will lead him to Christian. Why? I mean, Christian someone from Nigeria? Like, what? Like, I don't understand. Why do you want? Anyways, so Tyree, he wanted to buy a gift for the real Carmela, and just to show his appreciation for her taking the time to meet up with him and answer his questions, he wanted to buy her jewelry. So now I'm like, okay, now I see why your sisters came with you, because you can't be left by yourself. You are your mother's caretaker, but you need two caretakers with you, Tyree, because his sisters was like, hell no, you're not buying her some damn jewelry. Are you crazy? And he probably would have spent an arm and a leg on a piece of jewelry for the real Carmela. I can see Tyree doing that. I can see Tyree cleaning out his savings account to buy a little trinket for this woman that he doesn't know, that he's never met, that he's only seen in picked. Anyways, y'all, he has two caretakers. Yeah, his sisters are his caretakers. That's why they traveled with him. I don't know why they're trying to pull the wool out over our eyes to make us think that Tyree is the caretaker for his mother, when his mother is, has to keep him on the straight and narrow, and his sisters have to travel with him. So they convince him to buy a candle. Okay, don't buy this woman her damn jewelry. Just get her a damn candle, a pen and pencil set. So, don't make a fool out of yourself, Tyree. So, Tyree is going to meet Carmela alone. His sister's not going to come with him. And that kind of had me kind of worried that he's going to meet with her alone. So he arrives at the lounge that he's supposed to meet her at. He texts her to let her know that he is there. And now we just have to sit back and wait and see what the hell happens, because oh my God, I just really hope that the person who was coming to the door was actually Carmela, and it's not like a teaser and it ends up being somebody else. I really hope that's the real Carmela. Moving on to Razvan and Amanda. So they go out to dinner. Razvan says that he was really looking forward to a really fun date with Amanda. And I'm like, since when has Amanda been fun? Since when has Amanda been fun? She has been doom and gloom, thunderclouds and stormy weather since she's arrived in Romania. That girl knows nothing about fun. So Amanda... Okay, so they're talking about Razvan introducing Amanda to his family. And he tells her that my mom did not like my ex-wife at all because the ex-wife was too controlling. And also he tells the family that, he tells Amanda that his family does not want him to move to the United States. But he says that's been a dream of his ever since he was a little boy. And so Amanda was like, you never told me that. And Razvan says, yes, I did. I told you that I've always wanted to go to America. And so Amanda now begins to question this whole entire relationship. She's like, okay, so this is really about you just coming to America. And Razvan tries to convince her, no, I want to be with you. It's not about America. I actually really want to be with you. So he tries to convince her that that's not the case, but you can tell that she doesn't believe him. So the next morning, Razvan can tell that there's still some tension between them. And so he tells her, he says, I don't care about America. I just care about you and being with you. Amanda still is a little bit iffy about this whole situation. Later on, they go to a pool party hosted by his friend. I think her name is Deanna, or is it, because it looks like Diana, but I think they call her Deanna. So they go to a pool party, and as soon as they arrive, the friend Diana asks Amanda, "Where's your bathing suit?" And Razvan announces to everybody she's on her period. So Amanda was rightfully embarrassed by that. So Diana begins to interrogate Amanda about her true intentions with Razvan. So here we have Amanda feeling like Razvan might be using her just to come to America, and then Diana thinking that Amanda is just using Razvan for something or other. So Diana's interrogating Amanda, like, she's like sizing her down. I mean, she is like truly analyzing Amanda. Because she even said, well, the way you look at him like a cat that's about to pounce. So she questions whether or not Amanda has, true intentions, and does she truly have feelings for Razvan. So she pulls Amanda to the side, and she's asking Amanda, so how do you really feel about Razvan? And Amanda was like, I really do like him and I really care for him. So Diana straight up says, I think your relationship is toxic. I don't think that you're really here for love. I don't think that you really love Razvan. I think that you just have this attachment to him. And to me, it seems kind of toxic. And I was just like, wow, Diana, she's got some. So, Amanda wonders, well, is she coming on this strong because maybe she wants to be with Razvan? Amanda, stop thinking that everybody wants to be with Razvan. If Diana wanted to be with Razvan, I'm pretty sure a woman like Diana, with that attitude and that swimsuit, she would have gotten with him. She would have had him. Okay, trust me, trust and believe me, Amanda. If Diana wanted Razvan, she would have had him. So Diana tells her, he's been through a lot with his ex-wife, and I don't want you to play with him. And so she says in her own confessional, Diana says that she thinks that Amanda is just here to play games with Razvan, that she's not serious about it. And Amanda told her, if I wasn't serious about him, why would I leave my 2 small children behind to travel across the world and be gone from them for weeks? If I wasn't serious about Razvan, didn't want to be with Razvan. And I thought to myself, that's a really good point, Amanda. Diana, are you, taking that in? Are you picking up what she's putting down? Yeah, she really does like this guy, I think. If she could just get over her deceased husband, maybe this relationship can move forward. Moving on to Gino and Jasmine. So they, in the spirit of making good memories, they decided to take a weekend trip to a place called Boqueta, which is near the place where Gino had proposed to Jasmine. So they arrive at their hotel or their little, whatever it is, bed and breakfast. I don't know what it was, like a little, I don't know, hotel. And so Jasmine tells Gino, I have something to show you, but you have to wait right here. And I'm thinking to myself, where else is he going to go? Of course he's going to wait for you. So she goes to the bathroom. She changes. She comes out in this bubblegum pink lingerie, some knee-high boots, and some S&M sex toys. And so, she gets the party started. She's all over him. And it seems like for the first time, Gino is actually enjoying Jasmine. And I guess maybe that was the problem. She wasn't being, kinky enough for him. The freak level was a little bit too low. And now since she's kind of increased the freak level, Gino now is interested because it seems like they had a grand old time. So we find out the next morning that everything was a success. Gino reached the finish line, if you know what I mean. He was never able to do that before with Jasmine, but he finally did the night before. He reached the finish line, and she said that he was able to do that because she urinated on him, on his chest, when they were in the jacuzzi. She urinated on his chest. And that's what helped him reach his peak. And I had so many questions. Unfortunately, there's nobody to answer them. Okay. Were the parts connected? Because when she was urinating on him, the parts were not connected. So did he reach his peak without their parts being connected? Or did she urinate on him and then they continued on? Like, I just had so many questions, and I was disgusted. I was intrigued. I was disturbed. So many emotions all at once with what she said. Anyways, they move on. Okay, so they go horseback riding. So after they do the horseback riding, they take a break to have a conversation. And Gino took a picture of Jasmine next to the horse. And Gino tells Jasmine, send me the picture because I want to send it to my family. And so Jasmine's like, your family. So then this starts her talking about how she does not want his family super involved in their relationship. She wants his family to stay the hell away from their relationship because she knows that they question her true intentions with Gino, because one of his cousins by the name of Dana had asked her on social media, so do you really love my cousin Gino? Is this real love? And so she didn't like that. And she told Gino, if your family comes to me in the wrong way, they're going to get the wrath of Jasmine. So Gino suggests to Jasmine, why don't you have a conversation with my cousin so y'all can just hash that out? I don't want to get involved. I don't want to come in between y'all. Why don't you and him have a conversation about what he really meant with that question? And so Jasmine says, that's fine. But if he comes to me incorrectly, he's going to get the full deal, the real deal, Holyfield Jasmine, and he's not going to like it. So hopefully that conversation is gonna go well. I kind of doubt it. I seriously doubt it because Gino's family, from what we've seen, they're very direct. They're very they speak their mind. They say exactly what they mean and mean exactly what they say. And Jasmine doesn't hold back either. She's the same exact way. That's going to be a very interesting conversation. Moving on to Misha and Nicola. So it's the morning after their fight, because they had that fight where Misha was like, Nicola, you act like you're not really used to being in a relationship because you don't know how to really treat a woman, how to cater to a woman. You know, I feel like you really don't care for me. You don't take my feelings into consideration. You're very abrupt. You're very rough around the edges with me, and I don't like it. So it's the morning after that fight. Misha feels less and less hopeful about their relationship and where it's going. So she thinks that Nico really doesn't care about her feelings. Nico joins her for coffee on the rooftop of their hotel, and they talk about their issues. Nico says that he knows that he has to work on himself. He has a lot of work to do. He knows that he has to be more affectionate. He has to be more considerate of her feelings. Nico says that he needs to be more gentle and sweet with her. So he asks her, Misha, can you please forgive me? We started off on the wrong foot. I know I wasn't making you happy. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to try to do better, but I really need you to be patient with me. So he begins to shower her with all kinds of compliments, telling her the reasons why he's in love with her. Okay, my video stopped recording. I'm at the end of it anyways. It's just Misha complimenting her, showering her with all these compliments, telling her how beautiful she is, the reasons why he's with her, that has this great personality, she gets along with everybody, she's funny, she's gorgeous, etc., etc. And he basically tells her, yes, I'm going to work on myself. Misha kind of wonders if Nico is serious about changing or if he's just, just saying whatever she wants to hear. So she really doesn't know. So only time will tell. And that's basically all that I had to say. That's the end of my review. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it on your way out. Please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.